Investigation 8.1, Energy Flow in Systems. This is a pretty cool lab where students can track the energy from potential energy into kinetic energy, transformation back into potential with the rubber band back into kinetic. And all the time they are measuring how much energy is lost in each step. So the setup is as follows. It's similar to the last one where we're measuring the incoming speed, the outgoing speed, to get that change in energy levels, but instead of launching it with another rubber band, you're just using gravity. And so it adds that potential energy factor into this. So this would be the setup. Couple key notes: have the plunger on your launcher all the way back. You just don't want the car hitting that metal piece. So get it out of the way, and I put it down at approximately the 100 mark. You want your Photogate at about the 80. As long as this is clearing it, you should be totally fine. But these two things should stay constant throughout your lab. And then it says to put this at the 5th hole on the ramp to give you a good angle. Now, there's one important thing on the car that we haven't looked at yet, and I'm grabbing the orange card just to show you guys. But on the side there it says energy car, you see this little crosshairs right there in the middle. That is where the students will actually be measuring the height to get that potential energy. So just to kind of show you guys, I showed you on the orange card because you can't really see it on the blue. But the students, I would have them set the car all the way down on the rubber band and then measure the height to that little crosshairs. So that is the height down at the bottom. And then have them, before they drop, measure the height that they're dropping at. And then they're trying to be as accurate and consistent as possible. So just making sure that whoever's doing the measuring does it every time. But, and you can see it here in the picture, when you got your height there at the top, your height there at the bottom, that's your drop height. Okay, so that would be your total potential energy that goes into the car. There we are. And you see that they're going to be collecting a lot of data and constructing an energy flow diagram. So they should start off with potential energy. That's going to convert into kinetic, but we'll lose a little bit of some because of friction. We'll go from kinetic into potential in the rubber band. We'll lose a little bit of some there. And so you can see how all that kind of works out, and they'll calculate the speed. Quick reminder, if you didn't watch the video on the last one, and I'm pretty sure you guys can see that data collected there. Perfect. I'll tilt it up just a little bit more. In CPO timer mode, you know that it measures the time that this passes through the gate, but it only measures one time. So if you want to get, okay, well, it measured the time coming out. What was the time that it was going in? Just remember to hit the M at the bottom, and it shows you that time. It's like the memory. So it shows you the time that it went in and it bounced and came out. And so those would be the 2 times that you'd be using. So make sure that you have the students turn that on. And remember, that's the 2nd time and that's the 1st time coming in. You'll need students able to grab, as you guys saw, this will kind of bounce back and forth. Fairly efficient, so it'll bounce quite a few times before it comes to rest. We'll just watch that. All right, but that's pretty much the lab. The setup's not too complicated. Students should work as a team. Somebody's doing the releasing, someone's measuring, someone's calculating, and they'll fill out this chart pretty easy, and they'll be able to calculate kinetic energies, potential energies, and all the stuff in between. And I think that's a pretty cool lab setup. If you didn't do the last one where we had 2 of these guys and we did that workout, I think this one's simpler. So I think that's actually a pretty good lab to get your students to try and see how energy transfers from one to another. All right, that's 8.1.